What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another run here in American Truck Simulator Sunday Test Drive. What you see here is a 579, but this one's different. It's got a drop axle. This is Danclark's version 1 of his 379 edits. It adds a few items here, the chrome paneling on the door as well as the wheel well there. It also brings in Kentucky Boys edits with the step side skirt option and the stacks as well. Danclark brings in his beacons that you see right on the top there. They look almost perfect, like that was meant to be. There's also a couple Viper options on here, like right there, the DEF tank. So as well as another option there for the headache rack. You got a couple options to choose from there, a couple options on the fenders, but yeah, it's really meant to bring in the whole oversized look, and I think it really does a nice job here as I go through another trailer. But I have no complaints. I really don't. There are two versions of the drop axle. I believe the other one is a steer, but I'll have to look into that one. I have not tried that one yet. This one here, obviously, is just the drop axle, and it's fully functional. It works. Everything else. It does affect the steering radius, so keep that in mind, guys. I've been driving it here a little bit, and the thing turns like a bus with flat tires on the front if you have this down and you cut the wheel too much. So I'm going to leave that up for now as I fire this thing up and get ready to get moving here. Now to load here, I have not seen this one yet at all. This is totally new to me. I believe this is part of the Jazzy Cat trailer and cargoes pack, but I could be wrong. But this is a container lifter. I've seen these on all different sizes during my time going in and out of rail yards, and this is one of the main ones that you're going to see. This is a little on the smaller side, but they come in all different sizes, really, and they get bigger from here. They got ones where the cab is like 20-30 feet up in the air. This one, obviously, it's not one of those. This one sits pretty low, so it looks like it's not going to be for any major yard. But the route today, as I get on the road here, I will show you what's up. Wait for this other car to pass. In LA right now, and I'm going to San Francisco down to the port. So the route I'm having here is a little bit of a scenic one. It's going to take me right along the coastal highway, and it's going to put this Cummins ISX 600 to work, as well as my driving ability hauling this 41,000 pounds. Not the heaviest load out there by any means, but it's definitely going to be interesting and tricky, and you know what? I'm tired of waiting. I'm going. Now I've got this hooked up to an 18 speed, Super 18 actually, the Eaton, and we'll see. Oh, there's a curb right there in the middle of the road. But I tell you right now, the truck has no problem whatsoever pulling this thing. Just put that. Nope, didn't go down. There we go. Ah, I pushed the wrong one. Blindly pushing buttons here in my side panel. Now what I will find out, I have not tested yet, is whether or not skins will work with this truck. I see no reason as to why it won't. I don't believe this works with the day cab though, so you're gonna be stuck with either the mid-roof or the high-roof sleeper. No drop axle option is available for the day cab. And I'm turning left, okay. But also, by the way, everyone, happy Labor Day. Hopefully everyone's got some plans to do something here on this weekend. If you guys have 2 days or 3 days off. Myself, I've got 3. So later today, I have family coming over, and I'm going to be firing up my grill and Cook some steaks out there for everyone. Up this hill. Oh, I thought this was a bigger hill. I haven't been this way yet, so this is all going to be kind of new to me. I probably should get into the truck to get a better handle on things as I drive. You guys, I'm sure, have been down this road, though. It gets pretty twisty, pretty curvy when you get up there towards Santa Cruz and whatnot, so taking this all the way to San Francisco is going to be interesting, I'm sure. I know the speed limit said 55, but I am not going to do that. And I'm all over the place, I know this. I'm not going to really try to swerve this thing around and drive it, hug the corners and whatnot, you know, like it's a Mazda Miata. So I'm going to be cutting corners when I can. But I'm not going to be breaking any lane speed records here. You know, with the more options that come out and continue to come out for this Peterbilt 579, I'm really starting to like this truck just as much as I like the 389 and the 386. With the options here that Kentucky Boys 579 edit puts on here, you know, and now even with this, the Danclark, and there's another one out there that has a stretched chassis. So I will hopefully be showing that one off here soon, getting that one some attention from you guys. But I'm really starting to like this truck and how it looks, how it feels, how it performs. These options and these mods have really enhanced this stock SDS truck, which is nice, really nice. Now, I haven't done too much with the W900, so I'm sure there are just as many options out there to tweak the W900 into the classic Cadillac powerhouse truck that we're all used to, and not the Frankenstein sounding thing that SCS has given us. right here. Screw it. Take him hard on the shoulder. Sue me. Not exactly the road for this truck and trailer setup here, but now, with this trailer and that lift, one thing I remember from my time within the yards for the Union Pacific as well as the Canadian National around Chicago, here's a nice little hill, I've noticed the tires were basically slicks. There were little half grooves here and there on them, but they weren't really grooved tires as we might know. I mean, hell, they weren't even like street slicks or street tires. These had every foot or so or whatever, every maybe less, maybe more, they had a groove cut through them, and then that was it. I would say like 90-95% of the tire was all slicks, and I never did find out why that is. It's not like yards like that were the best plowed. You can't really disrupt traffic. You got trucks driving all over the place. You got these heavy lifts driving around all over the place, as well as the MyJack overhead cranes. And although this is the baby of the lifts, the bigger ones, they come in pieces, as well as the MyJacks. The overheads, they come in pieces as well. But, I mean, hell, even the MyJacks had at least grooved tires, like you might find on a quarry truck or something. But for these forklifts or these container lifts, nope, pretty much slicks, which I never quite understood. I don't think they weighed more than the MyJack overheads. I mean, I know they're going to be really heavily weighted in the tail because they're lifting up containers, whether they're full or empty on the front, so you got to have that counterweight in the back. It must take a different type of driving style. I mean, for most vehicles it already does take a different driving style to drive in the snow, but for these guys here, it must be really different in order for them to keep control of these huge lifts as they're going around with either a container weighing 8,000 or 9,000 pounds all the way up to, whoa, hello, a container that weighs 30,000 to 40,000 pounds. there's part one of all this taken care of. Well, we're not done yet. Drive-by is not doing me any justice today. That little dip that's up here by the gas station and the plant, and it also jukes to the left. There's the drop off. Get a little air, and then there we go. One more section coming up here that's going to give this truck a run for its money with its twisty bends. I've heard some stories from my guys that worked at MyJack, as well as the companies that were contracted out to work on these container lifts, and man, they they did not like these operators. Always bitching and complaining about them. These guys don't give a shit about these things. They use them and they abuse them, and then they walk away, and then the next guy comes in on the next shift and does the same damn thing, and then they want to sit there and bitch when it breaks, and they want to act all innocent like they didn't do a damn thing. Always something was wrong with them. Whether it was metal fatigue on the masts, or stretching out chains, or blowing... Hydraulics are the main thing. Always blowing hydraulic lines, or a pump, or something like that going wrong, and doing a PM and maintenance on those damn things was almost an all-day project, because you had so much oil, so much grease, so much to do. And the problem is that some of these places... some of the companies, you know, they're only looking at the bottom line, and so they're looking to skate as much as they can on different things. So, you know, maintenance is getting put off, or prolonged, or just canceled altogether. You know, they're getting rid of the mechanic, or they're telling the mechanic, you know, do this or do that. And I had one guy that I dealt with for 5 years at one location, and he finally said, you know what, screw you, I'm out of here. He ended up staying because they paid him more money, but, you know, his message got all the way up to, I wouldn't say the top brass, but it was close, and one or two people, from what I'm told, ended up losing their jobs because of it. Because they started putting the safety of the employees above... That's a red light, I forgot all about that. They started putting the safety of the employees, as well as others in the area of work, in danger. And that's when they said, alright, yeah, we're looking at a possible issue here, you know, where the driver gets hurt or worse, killed, or he takes out someone that's working in the yard, or worse yet, he takes out a locomotive and a train. And the way the railroad works is, you take out a train, you just screwed up trains for the next day or two. You're backing up every load, every train, every locomotive, every crew. It's just as bad as what happens on the airlines. So, you know, now not only are they worried about losing a life and getting sued for it, but now they're also worried about losing the contract, or their customer losing the contract, and then they in turn end up losing their deal. So it's a whole domino effect, and one person's actions can affect so many others. So sometimes cutting corners when it comes to putting profit above the safety of others, or the quality of the service, is sometimes just not worth it. And this is a messed up spot to be putting this thing. Okay, there we go. I'm wondering, what the hell? What the hell is that engine sound? Huh. I don't know if there's a ship. Could be. But, alright, back to the truck. And let's finish everything off here. So, there you have it, guys. The Danclark 579 Edit. Drop axle. Beautiful. Awesome. Loving it. Love having that option. But that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy your Labor Day. Drink a beer, keep safe, enjoy some steaks, burgers. You know the works. Until next time. Thanks for watching.